Good day, everyone. It's a hurricane season here in Florida, and I'm not done getting ready. So let's fix some of that in today's video. I have pure sine wave inverter. I have electric Equinox. Let's see if we can make those work to back up some of the critical appliances around my house. If you're interested, stay tuned. So the main part of this project is going to be this 12 volt DC to 120 volt AC inverter. That is going to get hooked up to Equinox's 12 volt battery. The Equinox has a DC to DC inverter that uses the main car battery to charge up this 12 volt battery. So basically your main car battery tops off the 12 volt powers the inverter inverts it to 110 volt AC, and then you can use that to power things around the house. So you're using your full car battery to power things around the house. I've done a similar setup on my Bolt EUV. I used a little smaller inverter. It did not power my fridge and stuff like that, so I'm stepping things up for the Equinox, and let's see how that works out. So first thing first, I think I'll take out this inverter out of the box and kind of show you how I want to hook it up. For this project, I'm using 3000 watt pure sine wave inverter by Vevor. The reason I went with the pure sine wave is because pure sine wave is better for powering compressors like on the refrigerator compared to modified wave. They are more expensive, but they are closely simulate like your outlet wave versus like the modified is more of a square wave, and it doesn't do as good with the compressor. So I went with the pure sine wave. I also went with the 3000 watt. And that's quite high. But the reason being I went with something a little higher because I already have 1500 watt a reliable pure sine wave inverter, and it's not enough. It does not have enough surge capacity to start up the inverter compressor on my fridge. So this guy right here hopefully will have enough surge capacity to start up the fridge and the other appliances around the house. With that being said, there is a limitation how much you can draw out of the Equinox, and that limitation is going to be the DC to DC inverter that goes from your main battery into the 12 volt. On my previous car, a Bolt EUV, you wanted to stick with inverter below 1500 watts. Just for the reason being, let's say the DC to DC inverter can only put 1500 watts into the 12 volt battery out of the main one, and if you're drawing, let's say 3000 watts like this inverter, you're going to deplete the 12 volt battery and then maybe cause the damage to the DC to DC inverter that converts the 400 volts into the 12 volts, and then you don't want to do that. So for that reason, I am not going to ever draw 3000 watts through this inverter, and the reason it's so big is just like I said, for the surge capacity to start up my refrigerator, because this is going to be the main purpose of this, is to keep my fridge running when I lose power. Another thing I got was this breaker. This is DC breaker. It's 150 amp breaker. So at 12 volts, it can put about 1800 watts through it before it pops. So that's going to also limit how much power I draw out of there. So because this breaker should trip if I'm ever drawing over 1800 watts on the DC side, and that would be about 1500 watts on the AC side, just because you're going to have some losses. You have 12 volt DC coming in, it converts it into 120 volts AC, but it's going to lose efficiency through here. So even if, in order for it to output about 1500 watts, it's going to have to draw about 1800 from the DC side to supply that 1500 watts. And also, I got this 175 amp Anderson connector. Oops, I'm losing things. I'm gonna put that back here because what I want to do, I want to permanently hook up a plug through here, 175 amp Anderson plug, and then I'll be able to hook up my inverter straight into that plug when I use it, and then unplug it, leave that plug there when I'm not. Because I'm not going to permanently mount this inverter inside the car. It's going to get rattled, dusted on. I don't want it inside the car, but I want the easy way for it to get hooked up and then be ready to supply the power that I need. So the first step, I think I'm going to start working on an Anderson plug. They did give me some wires. I'm going to use that. So I'll use one side, then I'll cut it, and then we'll crimp the Anderson plug right there. Alright, so I took the shield off. It was just 3 or 4 10mm bolts there that come out, and then the shield kind of comes off. There's still that lever connected to it, so I didn't get it completely removed, but I just moved it out of the way. And what I started to do is I cut some of those cables, and I used my hydraulic crimper right there to crimp those lugs on, and then use the shrink wrap to shrink wrap those. I already have the negative hooked up right there, and then the positive is going to go to the other side, and then going to go here. You could probably use the negative like from here, from the chassis of the car, for the negative, and positive from the battery, but I decided to just hook up straight to the battery itself. Since I'm kind of leaving this here. You don't have to get I guess I didn't have to get as fancy either. I could just hook up straight to the inverter, just with the cables that they give you, just bolt up to, and then they would be good to go. But I just wanted to have a quick connection like this one, so it's going to be more awesome, but a little more work though. Anyways, I'm going to finish up this side, and then I'll do the other side for the inverter. I still have the cables. I'll show you those. Those are right here, those cables there. On the positive side, I'm going to have the breaker though on the inverter here. So yeah, I'll give you an update once I get everything hooked up over here, and we'll go over everything. Alright, so this is what I came up with. The negative and the positive is hooked up. I'm going to the 175 amp Anderson plug. And then this is on the inverter side. Positive and negative are hooked up. Negative goes straight to the Anderson plug. Positive goes through the 150 amp breaker. So that's on and off. I tighten the heck out of everything. Maybe once it runs for a bit, I'll go through and then check these. These are hydraulically crimped. These were from the factory, and these ones I crimped myself. So basically all that's left is to plug it in, and got to start the car. And I'll show you a trick with starting the car there in order for it to stay on the whole time. And we'll give this some tests. Alright, we're inside the Equinox, and as many of you know, the car will shut off after a while whenever you start it. So in order for us to bypass that, what we want to do is press the gas pedal 3 times. And then the brake pedal. And we'll get this message saying automatic shutdown is off. Turn the AC off. So this will let the car run indefinitely. It will never shut off. And the reason we're doing that is because the DC to DC converter that we're talking about that charges a 12-volt battery works when the car is on. So right now it's charging the battery, it's always on, and we're going to leave the car on in order for it to keep charging the battery while we use an inverter. That feature right there will let us run the car indefinitely up until the main battery dies, and so it will keep this 12-volt battery charged up. I already have the inverter plugged in to the Anderson plug. You have to do just flip that, and that should supply the power to the inverter. The inverter also has a switch. I'm going to turn that on. Let's see, so yeah, we got about 13.6 volts on the input side, and 120 volts on the output side. That's AC. We're not drawing anything, so very cool. Alright, I'm gonna go grab an extension cord. We're gonna run inside the house, and the main thing I want to check is just to see if the fridge is gonna fire up. So I'll give you an update when I get that hooked up. Alright, so I'm inside the house. Fridge is plugged in. You can hear the compressor going. I don't know if you guys do or not, but it's the compressor is going. So the extension cord is running inside the garage. And showing we're outputting 0 watts. My guess is probably not enough to register on this because we are drawing power. You heard the fridge going and everything else. But it did kick on the compressor. It was no problems at all. Like I was saying earlier, that 1500 watt reliable inverter, it did not kick on the compressor. It would not allow the fridge to run. It would shut off after 2 seconds after trying to start the compressor, and it would shut off with this, and everything seems to be working fine. We're not registering, but the fridge doesn't draw that much power. It's mostly that initial kick-in of the compressor that draws quite a bit, and then now some inverters can't handle it. My reliable handles some of the refrigerators, but not this big double door one. So this guy right here seems to be running the fridge just fine. I'll let it run for a little bit just to make sure. Actually, let me throw my clamp meter on here just to see if what we're drawing out of the 12 volt side. Hang on. So yeah, they'll put the clamp meter on. It looks like we're drawing about 11.6 amps times 12 volts, actually 14 volts. That's well over 100 watts there. Let's go unplug. Actually, we're going to unplug the fridge right here. Fridge is off. Now we're drawing about 2.6 amps, and that's the idle for this inverter, so it's not powering anything. It's drawing about 2.6 amps. Pretty cool. Let's plug the fridge back in, see what happens. The compressor sometimes doesn't kick on. Sorry guys. Right away. So they came up a little bit. Let's see if the compressor will come on here. There it is. 600 watts, pretty high. See, like initially it draws a lot, and then once the compressor runs for a second, it will settle down. See, that's not registering again, and we're drawing about 6 amps now, not 11 like last time. So that's pretty cool. That's that initial surge. That's what the old inverter couldn't handle there. So that's real sweet. I'll let this run for a minute just to make sure the fridge is all working. So whenever the time comes, I'm prepared. And then we'll do a couple more tests. Maybe I'll hook it up to a microwave and see how that's how it does with that. All right. So refrigerator test was good. I unplugged the extension, plugged it into the microwave. And this is 1800 watt microwave. We're gonna run full power just to see what happens, see if that breaker that we put in will pop or not. So as you can maybe see right there, it's 1800 watts. There is a power level, so that's nice. So there's, if you go cook power, you can do percentage. So we're gonna go to 100% just to see how long it takes for that fuse to pop, if it does. And then we're gonna start. Cancel that out. Let's save for 2 minutes. Alright, microwave is working great. Alright, let's look inside the garage and see. The inverter says we're pulling about 1500 watts right there. And that's about 129 amps. So yeah, it's a little less than 1800 watts there, but I mean, that is pulling. So this shouldn't trip this breaker there if we don't draw 130 amps. We'll see though. Everything is working great so far. Voltage sagged a little bit. Keep an eye on that. Everything is going good. 1500 watts. That's great. See if anything is getting hot, any of our connections. Everything is cool to touch, so that's good. I didn't put this cover back on just until I kind of got done testing, and it's cool whenever you unhook this, it kind of tucks in, the connector tucks in there, so it's out of the way, it doesn't flap around. So very cool. Everything's still cool, everything's still working. Pulling about 15. So since it's pulling about 1500 watts, I shouldn't pop a breaker on this breaker or anything like that. So that's sweet. Last time when we had the storm, we lost our fridge. I couldn't power it from my reliable inverter. That's connected to like a 6 Nissan Leaf modules right there. So it's a 24 volts, and it's a 24 volt inverter. But it was not enough to turn on my fridge, so all of our stuff went bad, and this time I'm quite prepared. And on my Bolt EV, I just had a small inverter, like 400 watt inverter, just enough to kind of charge things around the house. So this is gonna this is gonna be awesome. So that's off now. I wonder if the microwave shut off. Probably did. Yeah, the microwave is done. Cool, so that works. I didn't pop the brake or anything like that. So that's great. Let me get everything buttoned up on the car, and then we will end this video. Alright, so I got everything buttoned up, put all the bolts back in, put the cover back on. I had to take some of the plastic off from the cap right there, just so the wires fit. My Dremel was down, broke the other day, so I used the angle grinder. that was a little too sick for this little thing, but it did work out there. And that's basically it there. I appreciate you guys watching. Let's have a safe hurricane season. Hopefully we're not going to even need this stuff, you know. It's going to be a good one this year. But if we do, I'm ready. I'm prepared. Just got to charge the car up to 100%, and then I'll be ready if in case I need the power inside the house. I do appreciate you guys watching now, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.